I'd like to start off with the exhibit behind us, which is frankly about protest.
Yes.
This is obviously a political kind of statement. This whole exhibition is not balanced, even-handed. It must be high risk. How does the museum see what you're doing? Where do you feel you've almost gone too far? What were you thinking in being so at the edge?
The development of this exhibition was very much contested internally, because when we're building an exhibition, we're dealing with a large number of stakeholders, we're dealing with a large number of differences of opinion. We have curators who have a message that they might want to put forward, but we also have a museum who are responding to government, who are responding to a board of trustees, who are responding to special interest groups. I mean, it's an area that was contested anyway, and I have to say that there was a lot of negotiation and even some disputes over what we could and what we couldn't put in.
She was working with this particular community and got to know some of the artists, and the option of a short exhibition at the museum came up, and so it came from that point of view. So it's very much from working with a community. And in terms of this whole exhibition space, it's now some 10 years old, but this was one of the first exhibitions in a museum in Australia. And as we seek to update it, I think you're right, there's an aspect of giving people a platform to tell their own stories. Which we'd like to continue to explore. And I've just returned from New Zealand, and there's a number of places where the Maori culture is told very powerfully through storytelling, which is a great tradition of the Maori cultures, to tell those stories of their own creation and what's happening now as a contemporary community. And I think if we can achieve something that allows a voice to come through as clearly next time we look at this exhibition, that will be good. It's interesting as to what are the areas that we want to touch on. How will we talk about that idea of custodianship with a changing landscape?
There are occasions when we like to think that our role is actually to be an impartial medium in a media landscape where there seems to be precious little impartiality. But then there are times when we feel there are important truths to be made public, and we had to negotiate that right through the development of this exhibition. And there were stronger statements than this, and in a way I think here where we've got this display which shows the protests in relation to what's happening in relation to our environment, we've tried to present it in effect as just a display of what other people might think. It's giving a voice to these people as we've given a voice to other people.
The environmental citizen is not being given any sustenance here. How would you feed into that?
Well, let me just clarify. Environmental citizen, do you mean somebody concerned about the environment?
Knowing about the political pressures that he or she could exert, that whole context, which David was talking about.
There is an exhibit over there that sort of addresses that.
Certainly, as examples of things like we have in other exhibitions where we have interviews with concerned citizens, etc., and the approaches about issues about energy. We plan on having those kind of things as part of this opportunity. What the choices you will have. Our goal in the new exhibit also is, while this is somewhat, this exhibit could exist anywhere in the United States basically, we will certainly also, while having this universality, bring some of the local story about where the citizens of New York and New Jersey actually get their power and the choices we have in the local area. which also have impacts globally and aspects globally. But that will also, the idea that who you can talk to and where you can go will be part of the exhibition as well.
Not here, but a program that we're running with schools is one that's called Web to Spider, and it's actually both. It's a bit of a pun because it's partly run online, but it's also about spiders' webs. And one of the things that's doing is students can go out and they can look for spiders' webs, which are relatively easy to spot out in the environment. But spiders and ants are some of the early indicators of the return of fauna to an area that's being rehabilitated, and are also quite good markers of biodiversity. And so they're things that school students can look at, and they themselves can start to get an in to those sorts of issues. And the Web to Spider, we're having some success in terms of working with a lot of school groups and using that as a way of looking at maybe where particular species of spider are or are not, and how that might be due to environmental changes.
I think it's an excellent idea, looking in your own backyard.
Yes.
Having children